Hello everyone, welcome back to Victor's Analytics Hub. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the COUNTIF and COUNTIFS function inside Microsoft Excel. I will show you basic function and formulas with COUNTIF. I'll show you how you can add the wildcards in your COUNTIF statement. I will show you how to use multiple criteria using the what COUNTIFs function. Okay? Okay, so let's begin. COUNTIF function is a powerful tool in Excel that lets you count the numbers of cells in a range that meets criteria. Okay, so as you can see, in this example, I have my names, my employee ID, my age, sales region, region code, and sales. Okay, for me to start with the basics, I'm looking at my age column here. So I have my names and employee ID. So in this example, let's just assume I'm looking at my list of I have a list of my employees, their ID, their age. Now I want to know how many of my employees are 22 years of age. Okay, for me to do that, I need to use a count if. Okay, so my range is this my age column, my criteria. Okay, how many of my employees are aged 22 equal 22. Okay, in this video, I'll also be showing you why it is always good to cell reference. Whenever you're writing a formula in Excel, it's always good to cell reference. I'm going to show you why. Okay, 22. Okay, so it's bringing out 3, and if you check my list, I have 3 of my employees are 22 now. Okay, now what if I'm asked, okay, they don't want 22 again, so they want to know how many employees are 25. So I need to come back. That's why cell reference is always good. And so I need to come back. If I'm being asked to change it, 22 is not required again. I need 23. Like how many of my employees are 23? I need to come back to my function, Imagine I have a long list, keep changing, changing this. Okay, this it takes time. Forget that I'm working with a very small data set here. It takes time. So in this my next example, I'm going to say a reference. Okay, this is my range criteria. Okay, this empty cell is going to, whatever I put in here will affect whatever is happening here. So I press my parentheses. Okay, so how many of my employees are 20 years of age? One. Okay, what if one? Okay, now what if 20? They don't want again. They don't want how many of my employees are 20 years. Okay, what if they want how many of my employees are 26 years of age? And one wonderful thing about Excel is that if anything that changes here, okay, let's say this 22 changes to 30, okay, and I'm asked how many of my employees are greater than 29, okay, it pops up 1 because I have an employee that is 30 years of age. Okay, so in my next example, I'm going to show you how to use operators, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to. Okay, that up to how many operators there. But I'm going to use just 2 here in this example, or I'm going to use several. The greater than, less than, I'm equal to. I'm going to use several in this example. Okay, so I'm going to look at my sales region in this example, and I want to return how many of my sales are greater than 10K. How many of my sales are greater than 10K? And for me to do that, you guessed it, I'm going to use the count if. So this is my range. The sales column is my range. Criteria, okay. How many of my sales are greater than? Don't forget to wrap when you're writing this. Don't forget to wrap it in quotation. Greater than 10K. Okay. 7. So if you have to count, 7 of my sales are greater than 10K. But in this example, notice that I did not say reference. Now, what if I'm being asked, okay, no, they want to find out how many of my sales equal 5K. So I need to come here and start, retyping whatever I typed, 5K. You can see that not cell referencing takes a lot of time. Okay, so in this example, let me say reference range criteria, whatever I type in here, close it. Okay. Now, how many of my sales equal 20K? Equal 20K. So one. And if you have to check, I have only one. One sale that equals 20K that was made by Kennedy. I can add many operators here. I can add greater than, I can add greater than 15K. Go to add 15K here. Okay, and it returns 4. If you have to count, forces are greater than 15K. Okay, so I've showed you how you can use operators like greater than equal to find what you're looking for using count if. Okay, but you can also use letters and find what you're looking for, find how many of that particular, let's say you're looking for west, how many times west appears in a range. Okay, so for this example, I'm going to be looking at my sales region, my criteria, so west. Okay, so let me cell reference sheet, my range, comma. So anything I type into that cell, okay, let me say I'm looking for not, and if you have to count, not appears 3 times. Okay, so in this example, I'm going to be talking about white cards. Now, white cards can be a great way to speed up what you are looking for. And what it does is that it takes the place of something. This is going to be very funny. The way I'm going to explain this is going to be very funny. It takes the place of something, skip over something, and looks for something specifically that you want to look for. For example, now I want to look at, in case you don't understand that wacky explanation, I'm going to look at this names list, and I want to find how many of their names starts with A. Okay, so count if range. Okay, add my comma criteria. Okay, so I want to look at their names and know how many names starts with the letter A. Okay, then I'm going to put my asterisk sign there. Wait, I didn't wrap it in quotation. So what this asterisk here is just saying is, yeah, I'm looking for A. Anything that comes after A does not concern me, but let the name start with A. Okay, so let me close my parenthesis. As you can see, 2. And if you have to check, I have 2 people that their name starts with A, Anne and Alex. Okay, again, so let me write a formula with my cell reference. Okay, criteria. Let me look for N. Okay, this cell is going to be my cell reference. Okay, so now let me look for, okay, just imagine, I'm not going to put my asterisk symbol in this example. Okay, let me just take that off now. As you can see, nothing, it didn't react. Nothing was not it didn't give us a count. And if you look at my names column here, you can see that I have people that their name starts with J. Okay, so whenever you're doing this, you always need to put the asterisk sign, even if you reference the cell, put the asterisk. Okay. Okay, so in this my example, I'm going to return last names. In my previous example, I looked for how many people their name starts with A. But in this example, I want to look at last names. So how many people bears the name Wiley? Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so count if range. The name column is my range criteria. So Wiley. Now, if you notice, in my previous example, the asterisk, the white card came after the letter A. But in this example, since I'm looking for the last name, it needs to come before the Wiley. Okay, so I'll close it. So it returned one for me. Okay, so now let me write one with a cell reference. This is my range criteria. Okay, this is my criteria. So anything I write here affects what's being given to me. Okay, so even if you know because I made a cell reference doesn't have to change the fact that if I want to write my criteria, we just go ahead and write Lewis. It's not going to work. I always need to write that asterisk. Be mindful of this. You always need to write the asterisk. Okay? And if you have to check, one person has that surname. Okay, guys, so that's it with the count if. So I'm going to move on to explain the count ifs. Okay, so count ifs is a very similar function to count if, but with count ifs, you are provided with more criteria. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at two columns here. I'm going to be looking at my age and my sales. Okay, so let me be writing out the formula so you understand what I'm doing here. Okay, so it has gone down again. Okay, so count ifs. Count ifs. So it's asking for my criteria range one. I'm looking at my age column. Now it's asking me to be specific. Now I want to look at my employees that are aged 22. Now I'm looking at my sales column. Now, what I want to do now, my employees that are aged 22. Now, I want to return how many sales they made that is greater than 15K. Return how many? As you can see, nothing is returned to me because if you are to check, my first employee that's aged 22, her sale was not up to 15K. Now, if I are to check again, my last employee that is aged 22, her sale is not up to 15K. That's why nothing was returned to me. Okay? So that's the difference between count ifs and count if. With count if, your only one criteria needs to be met. Only one criteria needs to be met. But with count ifs, multiple criteria has to be met before an output is being given to you. Okay? Okay, so let me write a count ifs formula. Cell referencing, okay? So equal to count ifs. So criteria range one. Okay, my age. So be more specific. Any age I type in here. So I'm looking at my sales. Okay, greater than 15K. Okay, so let me type 30. Okay, as you can see, age 30, greater than 15K. Okay, so I'm going to give my last example for the video. So in this example, I'm still going to be looking at my age column. Okay, equal to count ifs. Okay, this is my criteria range one. Now I'm going to look at age greater than 25. No, age greater than 25. I'm looking at my sales. Okay, greater than or equal to 20. Okay, so let me explain what I did there. I'm looking at my age column. Now I'm looking at age, my employees. I'm looking at my employees that are older than 25. Now the count my employees that are older than 25. Now if there's return if their sales is greater than 20k, that made sales greater than 20k, return how many they are. That's what this formula here is just saying. Now look, count how many people that are greater than 25 that made sales that are greater than or equal to 20k. Now return how many they are. So let me, as I hit enter, okay, let me hit my enter. Okay, wait. The was missing. Okay, I didn't wrap it in quotation. Okay, so it gave me two here. And if you are to go through these things, you know the reason why I gave it to. Okay, so let me write my last formula, cell referencing. Okay, so I'm still looking at my age. What did I just do here? So I'm still looking at my age column. That should be my criteria range one. Okay, so as for my criteria, it's going to be this empty cell. So any age, anything I put into this cell, it will affect the output that's being given to me. Okay, my sales. Okay, greater than or equal to 15k. Okay, so let me write age less than 25. So how many? So I'm looking at my age less than 25. So how many people made sales? Like how many people made sales that are greater than or equal to 15k? So that's what I'm doing here. That are less than 25. Okay, it returned three. So I have three people that are less than 25 that made sales that are equal to greater than or equal to 15k. I'm just looking them. Okay, here greater than or equal to 15k. So that's it, guys, for the video. That's it on count if and count is function. I hope you learned a lot from this video. If you do, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next post.